Guidance upon entry is the G in magnet. Now, this means onboarding. What are you doing to make your onboarding and orientation more effective every single year? What we have realized is that while a lot of companies focus on their customer experience and make sure that that is a great foolproof process when they're dealing with the delivery of your products or services, but how much of that have we internalized and looked at the new hire experience or the employee experience? How do they feel about working with you for the first time? How do they feel about the very beginning of your relationship and your partnership? Are you winning them over like you would with an external customer? Or are you just putting them in line with everyone else and not really caring about who they are as an individual? A few things that you can focus on to make your onboarding and orientation much more effective is to take a really close look at day one. Is your day one welcoming? Do you literally have welcome baskets? Do you have a sign at the entrance welcoming those new hires by name? Do they know where to park, where to go, which door to enter in, who to ask for when they arrive, what to wear? Should they bring their lunch on day one, or what is the plan for eating that day? Who will they be working with? What is that going to look like? Have you set those expectations before they arrived? Or is it possible they might park in the wrong place, go in the wrong door, and not know who to even ask for? We don't want that kind of new hire experience happening because that is very frustrating and can leave a negative taste in their mouth for this brand new relationship that they have. Now, not only do we want to make day one better and try to avoid the boring stuff, try to avoid having them just sit and write their name and address 19 times over and over on tax paperwork. A lot of that can be automated now and done electronically before they even arrive. Or at least if they have to do that type of stuff on site, or maybe some boring e-learning that they have to do, at least make sure they have a welcome basket that they can enjoy while they're doing those things. For example, I love to ask new hires, well, the candidates themselves, what's your favorite drink or snack? And they might think it's one of those behavioral interview questions or psychological questions like, if you were a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would you be and why? When really you're just asking them so that on day one, you can have a Snickers and a Dr. Pepper, my personal favorite, right there while they fill out paperwork or while they click on those e-learning quizzes. You know the ones. Next, 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 quiz. That way they have a little pep when they have to take those quizzes from the caffeine that they might want. So make sure that day one is much more enjoyable. A lot of our clients, in fact, will incorporate some kind of game. They'll make a scavenger hunt as they do tours of the location, or they'll have games where they have to remember the jargon that they've learned from their first day on the job. Now, don't let things stop there, because where I see an even bigger issue is day one on their team. Once a person has finished the home office or the HR onboarding, they are then passed off to their manager or supervisor, and then they are introduced to their team and the job that they'll be doing. That is where we find so many managers do not have a plan. In fact, I've seen several managers say things like, oh yeah, you're starting today. What are we going to do with you? Because I'm kind of busy. That is not the new hire experience we want anyone to have. So instead, make sure that your managers have a checklist, that they have some type of schedule, some type of list of what new hires need to see, need to know, and need to learn during their first day, their first week, their first month in that role. Having those checklists also helps us avoid the times when one person on the team will look at another person and say, I thought you told her that. No, I thought you covered that when she was shadowing you. And then there's a lot of finger pointing and missed expectations because that new hire might make a costly mistake that no one knew they didn't know how to deal with. So be sure that you're covering not only a great day one with the home office, but also a great week one and month one once they are on their team. Now, does this orientation also cover culture, or are you just looking at compliance? You know the kind. Check the box, check the box, check the box. We really need to make sure that during their orientation, they're getting a flavor of who this company really is. How do great, happy employees feel about working here? What is our mission, our vision, and our values? So many companies have cut those things out of the orientation process because we need our people on the floor faster. We don't have time for that. We'll cover it later. But many of our clients have found that when they invest in that knowledge up front of who we really are and what we believe in, they love to know how they are tied to the end user, even if they do not ever see your customers or clients. They want to be a part of that culture. And if you want to have a positive culture in your organization, you also have to set those expectations with the new hires right up front about the way that they are expected to behave and serve your clients and customers. Finally, be sure to check in on your new hires. And don't do those drive-by check-ins where you just pass them in the hall and say, "Hey, how's your first week going?" Because that does not make you seem very approachable for them in case they really do have something they want to talk to you about, or they're thinking this isn't the right fit. Make sure that you have HR professionals or managers scheduled to check in with these folks over time. Check in with them within a few days of starting at your organization to find out, how are things going? Do they feel the training is on task with where they want to be when? And is there anything they have not yet had exposure to that they need to be successful in that job? Are any tools or trainings missing for them to get the most out of that position and to be properly trained and prepared in that role? Make sure you take a holistic view of your onboarding and orientation and think about how you can improve the new hire experience.